Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farah Azim binti Abdul Rahman, and I will introduce to you guys about economic of Indonesia. In Southeast Asia, between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, there are a country which is Republic of Indonesia. A straight major sea lands, it has a strategic location and is an archipelago of 17,508 islands, some of which surround Timor-Leste, Malaysia and Papua New Guinea. The political structure is a republic. The president is the chief of state and the head of government. Indonesia has a mixed economy system which combines with centralized economic planning and government. Regulation includes a variety of private freedoms. Indonesia is a member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. The most populous Muslim majority nation in the world is Indonesia. Indonesia's 262 million people have enjoyed a broad range of civil liberties since 1998, when long-serving authoritarian ruler General Suharto stepped down. In 2014, Joko Widodo, Jakarta's former businessman and governor, won a 5-year presidential term. It is expected that the second Widodo administration will continue to make efforts to encourage more private investment in infrastructure and production. By reducing corruption, modernizing and simplifying investment regulations, and ensuring labor market controls, the government can make long strides towards achieving that goal. Indonesia is the largest economy in Southeast Asia. Indonesia's main exports include mineral, fuels, animal or vegetable fat, electrical machinery, rubber machinery, and mechanical appliance components. Continued infrastructure upgrades could help to minimize high transport and logistics costs. Indonesia has substantial untapped maritime potential that could stimulate future development, but foreign trade and investment barriers undermine growth prospects. In addition, with over 261 million individuals, it is the fourth most populous country in the world. Indonesia is the most populous island in the world, contributing for more than half the population of the country. The economic freedom score for Indonesia is 67.2, making the economy the 54th best in the 2020 index. Its overall score has risen by 1.4 points, mainly due to a higher score for property rights. Indonesia is ranked 12th in the Asia-Pacific region among 42 nations, and its overall score is well above the regional and global average. In the ranks of the moderately free since 2017, the Indonesian economy has risen steadily higher. GDP growth has also risen sharply in the past 5 years. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sarah Aisyah binti Rasali, matrix 2019271174. Today I would like to present about Indonesia public policy. Public policy is generally understood as a government-led, organized method of problem solving. In the Indonesian context, the importance of this definition and seeks to clarity key features of Indonesian policy making process. Information Sector Initiative is a joint undertaking between the Indonesian and Australian government to improve the standard of public policy by making better use of science, study and evidence. An ambitious initiative to reduce stunting has been initiated and introduced by the government, which will make a major contribution to improving the country's human capital and HCI rating. It is important for governments to have a long-term strategy and a commitment to invest in human capital. Considering the evolving nature of work due to technology and the need for increasingly high-skilled employment in the future, government actions or activities are affected by institutional framework and principles, all of which are influenced by social and historical norms. Nevertheless, it was meant to consider the multiply of stakeholders and organizations involved and the different types of outputs that constitute public policy. This includes strategies, policy regulation, governmental agency establishment, presidential priorities, and decision on funding. It acknowledges limits to pure technical rational thinking and seeks to establish knowledge that is functionally useful. The trias politica, which acknowledge the division of legislative, executive, and judicial bodies, is applied to Indonesia as in other democratic countries. The cabinet is a presidential cabinet where the ministers report to the president and the political parties are not included. Each province represented by 4 delegates who are elected in the respective region by the voters. Thank you. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurizati binti Muhammad Azam. I would like to present about method, a mixture of measure of monetary and macroprudential policy, used and necessary to cope with the various problems of the impossible trinity and the maintenance of equilibrium in the fiscal and financial system. So the first one is, although interest rate policy is the primary instrument all available communication network, including interest rate, exchange rate, money and credit, and expectation needs to be operated of by monetary policy. These considerations are the basis for the system for monetary policy implemented in Indonesia since mid-2010. There are 5 instruments in the policy mix. One of the interest rate policy seeks to ensure market stability and taking into account to the general macroeconomic outlook and relation of the financial system. Secondly, the exchange rate strategy is consists with the macroeconomic outlook as a whole, and the goal is to the level to undue uncertainty. Third is capital flow are treated with a focus on short-term and short-term management. Next is macroprudential policy for the management of domestic liquidity, cash and credit with the overall economic and financial stability forecast. 5. Coordination in monetary policy is needed is an unpredictable setting to mix in an unpredictable global economic and financial climate. However, policymakers face a dynamic challenge in a balancing high domestic demand. Since 2010, the monetary and macroprudential policy combination used by the Bank Indonesia has created an effective balance between grappling with the impossible trinity and safeguarding the integrity of the monetary and financial environment. Lastly is the policy mix is not always simple to devise and enforce, and needs to be calibrated appropriately and consistently in accordance with the shifting coordination of the global and domestic economic climate. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Epsingon Lugu and I will continue this presentation with problem inflation and unemployment in Indonesia. The change in interest rate will definitely affect the inflation rate in the country. The interest rate is the premium to be charged on the debt earned by the borrower and the creditor in exchange for the investment. Next, the interest rate influences the choice of person to invest more on option or save money. Next, the interest rate is often used by the government to monitor the market level, where the high price level, where the volume of money circulating in the community as whole will be required by the government to set interest rate high for the consumption consumption of high society. Next is the interest rate is a constraint on the use of money in a period and an ownership or the reality of the corporation with activity or source of power. And it is possible to split into two. First, the interest rate being the nominal interest rate of the monetary amount, and the interest rate indicated a range of dollar for each dollar spent. Next, the actual in next is the second. The actual interest rate is the rate corrected as a result of inflation and is defined as the nominal rate minus the rate of inflation. Next is the rise in saving rate will also immediately increase interest rate on loan. Next, other factor that affecting the size of the interest rate is the government policy. Is the deposit and a loan rate do not surprise the interest already decided by the government. Next, the interest rate factor is in order to monitor the supply and demand of the money circulating in the economy. Interest rate may be used as a monetary instrument. And next, interest also can be used to regulate the money supply. The government will take advantage of the interest rate. This means that in economy, the government will control the movement of money. So that's all from me. Thank you, everyone.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Farhana Syahidah binti Sharif and I'm going to present for the conclusion part. So Indonesia as one of developing country is struggling to solve the problem and issue after face the economic crisis originated from abroad. So at first did not seem to pose much difficulty for a country who is known as good in macroeconomics management. Public policy in Indonesia is referred to the policy cycle, which the general process of policy making in Indonesia cannot precisely be spoken to as a cycle supported by balanced critical thinking. Further investigation concerning the act of policy making in Indonesia should exist with making more nuanced image of how approaches are truly made. Picking up a superior of Indonesia to approach organization to reveal who is gonna engage with the cycle, what proof are they gonna use, and how they can impact the discussion and arrangement on specific issues. The method that has been used by Indonesia to overcome the inflation and unemployment by joining a monetary and macroprudential policy gives a better result regarding of reducing excessive macroeconomics and financial area changes. By displaying the financial square, the model is ready to catch Indonesian monetary elements in both real and monetary sector. External area displaying give increasingly exact analysis of a few issues that happens in Indonesia external area. So external area elements, to be specific, shocks the influencing the exchange rate, current record, and capital flow, which affect macroeconomic stability in Indonesia. This model is useful in helping Bank Indonesia with defining a fitting approach blend to reduce the unfavorable effect of external shock. So that's all from us. Thank you.